John's Gospel, chapter 15, commencing at verse 9 and reading through to the end of verse 17.
As the Father loved me, I also have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends. For all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name he may give you. These things I command you, that you love one another.
I'm sure this reading from John chapter 15 will be one of the more common readings that are looked at over this Remembrance Sunday. Because it has that incredible line in verse 13, doesn't it? Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. And we can understand how people would think about that, isn't it? In the context of the sacrifices of war, comradeship. But there's so much in these verses. If we just see that message, then I don't think we're seeing all that God wants us to see. What's the first thing that strikes me in verse 9? As the Father loved me, I also have loved you. It speaks to me about the strength of the love that God has for us. Something which always amazes me, and I'm sure if any of us take time to reflect and think about it, with the same love that the Father bestowed upon the Son, with the same intensity, the same depth of love, as the Father loved me, I also have loved you. As Jesus is talking to his disciples on one of the last times that he'll be sharing with them, he wants to impress upon them how deep his love is for them. Something deep within our makeup, isn't it? That we need to know that we're loved. And whenever we think we're not loved, we're in trouble. And Jesus understood this. God understands it. God made us. And it is the love of God that so many people are blind to. And they try and fill life with so many other things, substitutes. And yes, there are lovely things to be seen in life. There is genuine love that we can find in relationship. But it can never take the place of the Father's love for us. He loves us with that deep, intense love. And it's important that as we start the message this morning, we just remind ourselves that we are loved. And remind ourselves as to who loves us. The Father in heaven. He loves you. So often we struggle even to love ourselves. That he loves us. And he has always loved us. And he will always love us. And he loves us today. And he loved us yesterday. And he still loves us tomorrow. It's very lovely to know that we can be secure in the love of God. Never know his rejection. Never know a loss of his relationship. with the same intensity of love that the Father had for the Son, Jesus shares that love with his disciples and with all followers. But then he gives a little bit of advice, doesn't he? Abide in my love. It's a fact that he loves us. But is it a fact that influences and determines our life? It's made such a big difference in my Christian walk to understand that I abide in his love. That my relationship is centered in the love of God. And that when my relationship is centered in his love, then so much in life finds its right place. When we abide in the love of God, when we allow his love to be the determining factor in our decisions, in our conversation, in our behaviours, it makes such a big difference. So this concept of the love of God is not just something that is passive. It's not just something that we rest back in and think, okay, it's lovely to know that God loves us. Jesus implies sure that we need to make a conscious effort to remain in his love. And that word abide is a continual abode. It's not just something we dip in and out of. Hannah might not agree with me, but that's why it's so important that we have a home. And why for so many people in the world, they're trying to find a home. And we need to stop and ask ourselves, how desperate must people be to give up home, to leave home, and to try and find a new start? It's important that we know that we have a home. And our home as Christians, our normal place of abode, the place where we are secure, the place where we feel the love of God, is when we abide in his love. And then Jesus goes on to explain to his disciples, how do we do that? How is that achieved? If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. If you have a heart that wants to serve God, if you have a heart that wants to please God, if you have a heart that wants to live for God, then all those things are good checks for us abiding in his love. And I would go as far as to say we cannot serve God outside of his love. The two go hand in hand. The obedience to his commandments, the desire to do what he wants to do, is tied deeply to the love of God. We need to abide in his love. We need to know that his love is a reality in our lives. And we need to allow the love of God to be the great influence upon our lives. And I'm sure it's something that we're all seeking to learn more and more about the great love of God. Just as we can never understand the mind of God, we will never understand the heart of God. And just as God's thoughts are so much bigger than ours, his ways are so much bigger than ours, his behaviours, his attitude, they're so much bigger than ours. He has a great love. And that love motivates everything. And even as we gather on Remembrance Sunday and we think about the sacrifice of so many people, and then we go, as Tony prayed, to the sacrifice that Christ made for us. What is the motivation behind the cross? It's the love of God. It's because God loves you that he wanted to save you. It's because God loves you that he wants your fellowship, he wants your friendship, he wants your companionship with him in heaven. He wants you home. He wants you home with him. He wants to share home with you. It's not just poetic license. It's not just flowery words. It's the reality of heaven. Home. Why do we worry so much when our children are away from home? It's because we don't feel they're so secure. We worry for them. We yearn for the time when they were little and they were home and we could look after them. It's the same impulse as God, isn't it? He yearns for the day where we're all safe at home. His heart is towards you. He loves us more than we will ever know. The actions of salvation are motivated by the deep love of God. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. The two go hand in hand. An obedient heart stays within the structure of the frame of God's plan for our lives. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Jesus always gives us the perfect example, doesn't he? He says, look at my life. He says, what have I done? I've done all that the Father's wanted me to do. And that's why the communion was never broken, because the obedience was always there. So often we want our own way in life. So often we want to rebel against his leading, against his guidance. So often we want to say, but I want to plan my life. I want to make my decisions. I want to decide. But as we said earlier, he needs to sit on the throne. He needs to reign. And woe betide us if we replace him with us. Woe betide us if we think that it's up to us to determine the direction of our life. If we think that we can pick and choose what we want to do. The contentment that comes from knowing not only that he has a plan for our life, but that we are willing to walk the plan that he has prepared for us. Jesus goes on to talk about another emotion, a feeling, a result of obedience and the love of God. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you. Jesus understands that our joy is dependent upon obedience and love. Knowing that we are obedient to God's leading, knowing that our life is under his hand, under his control, under his guidance, it gives a great joy and contentment to our life. And very often the disturbances that we feel in our life, we know really where they're coming from. And very often it's that rebellion, that refusal to submit to his leading and his guiding. This is my commandment, that you love one another. Isn't it lovely how Jesus takes the thought process on, isn't it? He starts by talking about his relationship with his own Father. He then talks about his relationship with his disciples. He then talks about the relationship we can have with him and with God. And then he comes and he talks about the relationship we have with each other. And he said, don't think that you can treat each other differently to how you think about me and the Father. We're part of the same family. If somebody asked us to do something, what if it was Jesus stood there asking us? Because he is there asking us. Jesus taught this himself. Whatever we do to the family of God, we do in his name. And however we treat the family of God, we treat him. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Again, he talks of the intensity, the depth, the quality of the love that should be there for each and every one of us. And the love that confirms our discipleship. The behaviours that are a witness to the world around and about us, that our lives are motivated by the love of God. Jesus then goes on to talk about the fact that when we're looking about relationship, when we're looking about what we're prepared to do for each other, again, he's the perfect example. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. I can guarantee that 90% of the times when we read that verse, we think about death. We think about sacrifice. But that verse goes far, far beyond that. That verse has a far deeper challenge than just being willing to die for somebody. It gives the real big challenge, are we willing to live for somebody else? What do I mean by that? Are we willing to give our time and talents in order for other people to benefit? Are we willing to say to God, Lord, I want to walk the path that you prepared for me, not that I may gain from it, not for what it delivers to me, although we do benefit, although it is good for us. But if the motivation is that I'm doing it because I gain from it, then we're missing what God is trying to bring out here. We need to lay down our life for each other each and every day. Jesus talks about friendship. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. And that's what friends are for, isn't it? It's lovely to have friends. It's a bit of a pain sometimes having a friend. Because with friends comes responsibilities. Friends make demands. It's a two-way street, isn't it? We all love to have friends when we need friends. But we need to be willing to be a friend, to have friends. We need to be giving sometimes as well as receiving. We're not servants who haven't got a clue what the master is about. We are his friends because he wants to share his heart with us. God wants us to understand his love for us. Jesus came to show people that have lost sight of the love of God, of what it meant to have God's love motivating your life and leading your life. He talks about us being friends. He talks about us being chosen. Verse 16, you did not choose me, but I chose you. He chose the 12. They weren't by random. We're not here by chance. We're here by divine plan. And he's appointed us to go and bear fruit. To bear fruit. The fruit tree spends all its energies to produce fruit for somebody else to eat. We need to be fruit trees. Bearing fruit for the benefit of others. That whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. Again, look at the context of that. It's in the bearing of fruit. It's in what we give to others. It's asking him to help us to be fruitful. It's asking him to help us to benefit each other. And that is why Jesus ends these few verses with the reminder, these things I command you, that you love one another. Because the whole motivation is not self, but selfless. The whole motivation is not me, but you. It's not I, it's us. And the sacrifice of the cross is Jesus responding to the Father's will that we should be included in heaven, that our home should be appointed in heaven. I love the quote from Billy Graham that was shared at Martin's funeral. You will one day hear that I have died. Don't believe a word of it. I've just changed my address. Absolutely right. And the use of the word address is so relevant. We're home. We're home. As we gather this morning around the table, may we rejoice in the fact that we have a Father who loves us and who wants to share his home with us. We have a Saviour who loves us, who is willing to live for us as well as to die for us. He's willing to give everything. may we also reflect on the challenge that we need to live for one another too.